In a forgotten farmer's field, there's a recently retired horse, put out to pasture amongst an ancient apple orchard. Got a bullet in the leg from a botched bank burglary. His ornery outlaw owner said, you can't run with me. If you can't run with me. And took all his taken money and took off down the track. Fixed his teeth that were growing funny, bought a convertible Cadillac. He lived at large in El Paso, so big he couldn't live it down. Flirting Felina was on his arm, big fish in a small border town. But all his money flowed faster than the Rio Grande. With no De Niro to hold, he had no Felina to hold his hand. She said, you can't afford to run the tables, then you can't run with me. A broken heart made him unable to appreciate the irony. You can't run with me. If you can't run with me. Out of love and out of dough, he'd have to find a fast job. He returned to rotten tricks of old and found another bank to rob. He only went 2 towns over, but in Texas that's 200 miles. Said my horse would have got me there slower, but my caddy got me there in style. The job went off without a hitch, but there was one thing that he forgot. He suddenly realized the glitch when he got back to the parking lot. You see, the 2 secrets of success to a brilliant bank burglary is your escape plan cleverness and concealing your identity. But every lady and her Sunday hat could point out the criminal who rode to town in a Cadillac. Officer was a convertible. You can't run, but you can't outrun me. Well, you can't run, but you can't outrun me. Lights flashing on his tail, tracked down by his license plate. His last ride had an actual tail and could stay off of the interstate. And so when the sheriff shot out his wheels, he set a final course to a forgotten farmer's field where he left his trusty horse. Busted through the barbed wire fence and bumbled out onto the ground. Tried to speak a recompense, but he could not make a sound. And the blood that spluttered from his lips served as his apology. And as his horse's head sadly dipped, he knew he'd never leave. And if that horse could talk, he'd say beneath the apple trees, you can't run, you can't even walk, but you can stay with me. You can't run, you can stay with me. You can't run, you can stay with me. You can't run, you can stay with me.